Welcome to the Undisputed Podcast. I'm your host, Joy Taylor. On today's show, following another incredible performance, is LeBron James at the peak of his powers? Plus, breaking down the Giants' decision to trade Jason Pierre-Paul to the Bucks. And will a receiving guru be enough to get Dez Bryant's career back on track? Skip, Shannon, let's get to it. The Cavs beat the Raptors last night. They gave up a season-high 79 points in the first half to the Raptors, but then LeBron took over. He finished with 35 points, 17 assists, and 0 turnovers. It's the first time that's been done since turnovers became an official stat in the 1970s. The Cavs have now won 3 straight. Let's take a listen to LeBron and interim coach Larry Drew after the game.
I always say that there is one game during the season that changes your team. That game can be early, it can be midway, it can be late, but there's always one game that kind of changes your team, the mindset. And I really believe tonight's game might have done that for us.
It's a good win for us just because how depleted we are with our roster and everything that's been going on. It's a good win for us versus a very good opponent, but I don't need to remind anybody what my teams are capable of doing, so that wasn't a factor.
Shannon, how impressive was LeBron last night?
I'm running out of adjectives. I don't know if
Well, make one up.
I don't know if Merriam-Webster has enough in her thesaurus for all these adjectives that I can heap upon this young man. Skip, I'm done.
He's not a young man.
He's a young man. Young man, 33 years of age. Right.
15th year. Go ahead.
Don't do that, Skip.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes I think if I had 1,000 tongues, I couldn't praise him enough. If I just had
Lord
1,000
mercy.
tongues.
Did you just say that?
Skip, baby.
I think I'm going to start speaking in tongues over here.
Shannon's been watching a lot of televangelists.
Yeah.
You are a televangelist.
Yeah, they call me Creflo No Dollars.
Yeah, and we know about false prophets, don't we?
No, that's the real thing. Stop it, Skip Bayless. You need to stop. The Cavaliers had no business winning this game. Like you tell me, Skip, this is a meaningless game on a Wednesday night. Now, there's a 12-game, the Cavs that game, so now there's 11 games left in their season. Toronto was going into that game with 11 and a half games up. So there's no chance of them catching the Raptors. You're down by 15. You're just giving up 79 at the half. And somebody forwarded me old text, Skip Bayless tweeted out, "Come on, King, you better than that. You let Van Fleet shoot that ball in the corner."
We're going to get to that.
I got on my thing,
We're definitely going to show that.
I got a Buffalo Wild Wings phone. I can call LeBron straight up in the locker room.
Can you really?
I say, I need you to go on and do what you're supposed to do now.
Yeah.
Don't play with them.
Yeah.
And you know what happened? Skip, they got no
Do you
business.
follow me on Twitter?
No, people be sending me that stuff like I hear him every day.
Why are you reading it?
Cause I need to know what you're talking about, my man. But what you talking about, LeBron? That's my partner. That ain't your partner, Skip.
Okay.
But anyway, they had no business winning that game, Skip. You know that. You look at Valanciunas and Portal, 14 to 19, 32.16.
Portal,
Yeah, Jakob. You remember Jakob Smirnoff? The Russian?
Yeah, I do.
But anyway, yeah.
Comedian. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah. Kyle Lowry had it going. DeMar DeRozan was doing what he did. The bench, they got outscored, 58 to 32.
Yep.
Got no business winning that game. And I know what you're gonna say.
You don't know what
I
I'm gonna
know.
say. You have no idea.
But if you look at Toronto, the way they shot the ball in the first half, Skip, I mean, that could be demoralizing.
I would say.
Very demoralizing.
Yeah.
But LeBron James said, nah, not today. Not on my watch. I'm gonna show you why.
Yep.
Although there's a great chance I'm not gonna win the MVP, I'm the best player in the league, and I'm the king. I'm the beast in the East. And if you want to go to the finals, you're going to have to deal with me in some shape, form, or fashion. That's what he said last night. And you know what Toronto is thinking right now? I don't know what I have to do because we can't play much better than what we played.
Yep.
What do I have to do to get this man up out of here? And LeBron says, nah. And Kevin Love. You know what, Skip Bayless? You saw the play that he did to Kevin Love last night. He went through the lane, and how he made that pass, I don't know. How did he know Kevin Love? That's neither here nor there. That was the exact same play in a Wednesday night, middle of the week game against the Toronto Raptors that has nothing. He made that same play in Game 3 to Kyle Korver in the short corner. The only difference between the two, One went in and one didn't. Everybody heaps praise. Oh, look, you see LeBron made that play. But LeBron James, I tell you, Skip Bayless, it's never the wrong decision if you make the right play. And in both situations, there was the right play. One went in and one didn't.
Completely different plays.
No,
We'll get to that.
no,
You know?
Skip. But Skip, 35. Joey Reyes said they just started keeping turnovers in the early 70s.
Yep.
And the NBA has been going on for 70 plus years. This is the most assists without a turnover in NBA history. The man, scored or assisted on 80 points, second most of his career. Should have had a little bit more because Kevin loved Mr. Bunny, so did Jeff Green. But with that withstanding, depleted as they are, LeBron James refused last night to let them lose. He sent a message, Toronto. Y'all played good. You had a good season. Baby dinosaurs. Skip, they blowing up my timeline last night. What you think about the baby dinosaurs? We the North.
Why are you reading this stuff during the game?
Because
why do you let it go in your psyche?
God, I wanted.
It just corrupts your thinking.
No, it doesn't.
It does.
The baby dinosaurs ain't what the elephant left on the showground. What he left?
What have I been telling you all week?
What?
Toronto is still Toronto. Did I not tell you yesterday?
You did. Skip,
it was going to be a wipeout.
They're a good team, though. They're a good team.
Until it's time. That they look good until it's time. Until they step on the floor with the beast of the East. And then they turn right back into the baby dinosaurs or just the raptors. That's all they are, is just the raptors.
They're not a T-Rex?
I'm sorry. They're not. They're no factor in this. I'm sorry. I just get them out of my sight. I told you the East is over. Done. Over. Just book it. LeBron is going to his 8th straight NBA Finals, and last night was just loud proof of what's about to happen in the postseason. But let's take it by layers here. Let's take the 17 assists. What have I told you almost every day we've been on the air together on Undisputed for our year and a half? He's the best passer in basketball, and he still is, and he is playing offensively at the highest level of his career because offensively, IQ-wise, just experience-wise, he's seeing it, feeling it, anticipating it at the highest level I think I've ever seen of anybody. This is even a little beyond Magic Johnson because LeBron doesn't have quite as much help, obviously, as Magic had. And in this case, what he is the best at is finding three-point snipers. And a majority, about half of his assists this year, have come off three-point makes.
11 of his 17 last night.
11 of his 17 came off three-point makes. So if they're going to make 15 threes out of 34 attempts.
24 attempts.
Is it 24?
15 to 24.
Oh, I thought it was 34. But anyway, the Cavaliers, I thought it was 34. Maybe I need glasses.
Yeah, I think you do need glasses, Skip Bayless. Yeah. No, that's Toronto was 15 to 34.
I'm sorry.
You got to go to the next line.
I'm sorry. You're right. 15 to 24. It's Toronto is.
Yeah.
So they both hit 15 threes.
Right.
But if the Cavs are going to make 15, he's going to assist on 75% of them, usually. So before I go any further, this is my favorite pass of the night because this is an extraordinary pass. First quarter pass to JR all the way across court. Can we see this one? Because this just took my breath away. He just flicked it all the way. Do you know how far that is to just flick it like that? All the way through 5 people, all the way to JR, and hit him right in the shooting pocket where it's a beautiful pass because it hits him. He doesn't have to do anything but just let it fly. Okay, that nobody can do that. Right. So I give you that. And by the way, on assisted threes, he's leading the league by 41 over second place, 263 is Russell Westbrook. So Russell Westbrook has 263 of those. He's got 41 more than Russell Westbrook on assisted threes. So he's second in assists, mostly because he can get it to the snipers because he's 6'9", he can see over the defense, and he's just good at it. And they trust him that he's going to hit them right in the pocket and they're going to make the shots. But they do have to convert the shots. Right. So what have I also told you? LeBron on certain nights, on too many nights, can be the most careless passer in basketball because he came into this game second in turnovers in the NBA, and he's second in assists. Second in turnovers, second in assists. Well, that shows that you're gambling a little too much and that you'll try things for SportsCenter highlights that too often just don't work.
If you remember against Milwaukee, he tried that same pass and Bledsoe picked it off.
He did, okay? So the shock to me as I scanned his game log late last night was he's only had one other clean game, LeBron James, the whole year. You have to go all the way back to November 20th when they just blew Detroit out at Detroit. It was 73-46 at halftime, and LeBron only played 27 minutes. Last night he played almost 40 minutes. So 27 minutes of 0 turnovers is not nearly as impressive as 40 minutes of 0 turnovers in a game that was a statement game.
Yeah.
You need to put the baby dinosaurs back in their place.
Correct.
Did he ever? Because, as I say, no one's playing at as high an offensive level as LeBron. Now we get to it's at the expense of the defense. And LeBron has plummeted all the way to 350th in defensive win shares.
How he keep dropping by 20? He was just 330 the other day.
350th. That's like, wait, he's actually 355. 355 of 522 players. And they may have dropped him 10 more spots just off the final play of the half last night because they did give up 79, but the last 3 points came on this, and I've been raving about Fred VanVleet, what he does. But what's LeBron doing? I just tweeted, what are you doing, King? What are you doing? He just drifts in the lane. He's clearly having to guard VanVleet. VanVleet rushed to the corner, and LeBron just says, I don't think I'm going to guard him.
No.
Well, why aren't you? What are you doing? It's just like the most pathetic lack of effort I've ever seen from a superstar. You just stand in the lane and say, oh, just let him shoot that. And he'd already made 3 threes, VanVleet had, so he made his 4th.
So he'd probably made his 4th, and LeBron would have rushed out there. That's energy that we will need.
Oh, so you wanted to save your energy?
Yeah, I knew what was going to happen.
He didn't even make like a half-hearted run at him. He just said, oh, whatever.
No, whatever.
Whatever.
Yeah.
And so he makes it, and it's what, 79-64 at halftime? They gave up almost 80 points in the first half. But right on schedule, what happened?
What happened?
The Raptors turned back into the Raptors in the second half because in the first half, they made 12 out of 18 threes. In the second half, they made 3 out of 16. So they go from making 67% of their threes in the first half, thanks to Fred VanVleet, all the way to 19% in the second half. And the guy I tweeted about and gave some credit to in the first half, Fred VanVleet, went 0 for 4 in the second half. Ibaka went 0 for 4 in the second half. DeRozan went 0 for 2 in the second half. Toronto, just right on schedule, turned back into Toronto. They have to be devastated this morning psychologically because you blow a 15-point halftime lead against a fairly depleted Cavaliers team. I mean, they are down Larry Nance and Tristan and Rodney Hood. And then Kyle Korver had his.
Skip, but look in the first half. They shot 60% from the floor. They shot 75% in the second quarter. I mean, did you expect them to shoot like that for the entire game?
Well, I thought they had a bunch of open looks in the second half.
Yeah.
And they just missed them.
Yeah.
Because they don't think they're that good.
Yeah.
They don't think they can beat LeBron James face to face.
But here's the thing, Skip. When you and this team is predicated on 3-point shots. LeBron driving the ball, finding those snipers. When you can make the 3, you're never out of a ball game. But we've seen games where they're not hitting those 3s, and guess what happened? They get blowed out. You remember in Minnesota? You remember what happened when OKC came to their building?
Do I?
148-124. Well, you're never out of a ball game. But when you miss those shots and you get down by 10, in a blink of an eye, you're down by 25 and the ball game's over. So LeBron knew if a few of those shots were to go in, you know what? We still here. We still here. And LeBron started cooking. Oh, he got him and he wasn't cooking with no pan because that was non-stick. LeBron said, I want this thing to get hot. He had that Crisco.
No, he wanted it to stick.
Ooh,
and it stuck, right?
Put a big old dab of that Crisco up in that thing and start heating up 14 points and 5 assists in the fourth quarter. You say you want to see him in the fourth quarter when the game mattered. Did it matter last night?
Yeah, but Toronto's just reeling psychologically. They're just like, they can't make anything go down. You could just see it coming. They're falling backward, like down, like in slow motion. They're falling backward, and they know the inevitable is about to happen.
But normally, Skip, what happens is that when you get down by as many points as they did, and the Cavaliers, you have to exert so much just to get yourself back into the ball game, normally you run out of gas. You just can't get over that hump. But LeBron said, we coming. And they wanted to fall down. I mean, they get close, and they just couldn't make another shot. But LeBron run over there and pick everybody up. We coming. Drag them through. Drug them.
So I do have to give LeBron credit for this because I'm often critical of him. he stepped to the free throw line with 7.8 seconds left. They were up 1, and you need to make both of these just to ensure overtime, just to make sure that you have put the pressure on them to make a three-point shot. And to his credit, in a rare instance, he made them both. The first one swished. The second one was a little shaky. It caught a lot of the front of the rim, a lot of the back of the rim, and then it fell.
But
he made it. It went in.
Okay, that's all.
And by the way, for the year, now LeBron is 8 of 14 in late game situations, which is last 24 seconds with the game within 3 points. And that's 57% from the free throw line. That's pretty shaky in late game situations. And of the 18 players who have attempted 10 or more free throws in that late game situation, he ranks 3rd worst. So 57% is pretty shaky, but he made those.
Of all those guys, those 18 guys, which one of them are you taking in front of LeBron James if we got a draft?
Well, I'll take them all in a late game situation. I'll take the
You won't even get to the late game
17.
situation.
Well,
okay, you be in a late game situation. Long as I got him, guess what? I'm still going to beat you. Because you're going to be trying to hit your free throws to catch up.
Well, you better just be so much ahead by the end of the game that it doesn't matter. You don't need to make those free throws.
Because as long as we can skip, I keep telling you, as long as that man is in those colors, the wine and gold, and he represents the land, he doesn't fear anything. Skip, have you ever been to Africa?
I have not.
You know, these
I would like to go.
Okay, the big 5. You got lions, leopards,
have you been
rhinos,
to Africa?
elephant. It doesn't matter. And Cape Buffalo.
No, you haven't been.
No, I'm going.
Oh,
That's on my bucket list.
All right.
The big 5. Now, think about it. Lions, elephants,
yes,
leopards, rhino, and Cape Buffalo.
Okay, so
most of them, with the exception of the leopard, all of them are bigger than the lion. But when he steps on the scene, everybody, even the elephants, start backing up slowly. The rhinos back up. They back up slowly. Because when that man coming through.
The elephants don't back up.
Yeah, they back up slowly.
Elephants aren't afraid of lions.
Yeah, they are. No. They won't know. They say, you know what? If we can avoid confrontation, we will. If you can avoid that man in the playoffs, you will.
Well, yeah, they'd rather not stomp you out, but they would if they have to.
No.
I don't think the rhinos back up either.
Oh, they did back up.
I don't
we
think
take
they
them down.
back up.
We take them down.
Alligators, crocodiles.
First of all.
Yeah.
Last I checked, the rhino ain't the king of the jungle. The elephant isn't the king of the jungle.
Well, the rhino's not a predator, so he can't. He doesn't attack.
That's what we do.
You don't mess with them either.
They don't mess with them.
Yeah.
And the Toronto Raptors, the Celtics, they would rather kick that lion in the butt with razor blade claws on, with a meat suit, than deal with that man right there, Skip Bayless. That man right there is dangerous.
He's dangerous.
He's dangerous, Skip.
So let's get to the play of the game with 27.5 seconds left, and Cleveland is up 1. And LeBron, for once, I thought did make the correct decision. I hate this, made the right basketball play. It's just the correct decision because in this case, as we see, Kevin Love made
But how
the
did you
3.
see him, though, Skip? He's going there. You see this, Skip?
Okay.
That's no love.
Okay, so what happened in this case? Siakam is trying to guard LeBron. He's a second-year player, drafted at the bottom of the first round out of New Mexico State. So Siakam, he's athletic, he's 6'8", so he's doing the best he could do. But LeBron, off a pick from George Hill, gets a step on him.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, Siakam's no more factor. So LeBron has a clear path to the basket, except somebody is standing right straight under the basket. Who is that guy? It's Serge Ibaka, who for 4 straight years with the Thunder led this league in blocks. So he loves to block shots. So LeBron quickly computes, I don't want to mess with that because I'm going to have a hard time.
Should have flushed it on him like he did Nurkic.
Okay, well, why didn't he?
Because.
Okay, that's always my argument to you. Why don't you just go ahead and do that?
Because here's the thing. If he flushes it on him, they're only up 3. He hits this three-pointer to Kevin Love, they're up 4.
Yeah, but if you don't flush it and you just get fouled, you have to go stand there by yourself and make those free throws.
He ain't missing no dunk.
We're not sure.
He ain't missing no dunk.
Okay, well, I don't think he can dunk on Ibaka. I just don't think he
Stop
can.
it, Skip Bayless.
I just don't see that. And I think LeBron correctly computed no.
Ask Kevin Durant, can he dunk on him?
Oh, please. This is Ibaka. This is different.
Who has more blocks this season? A blocker or Durant?
I don't know. Lately.
You know.
Durant's 4th in the league.
Guess what? And Ibaka's not 3rd or 2nd or 1st.
So Ibaka was covering Kevin Love, and he completely leaves him alone in the corner. Yep. Kevin Love has been there and done that. He's made that shot before because he's been in a lot of big games because he's been in Cleveland with LeBron now for what are we going on? The 4th year, okay? So he has big game experience. I'm good with that. Kick it to Kevin Love because I got I'll give it a 50-50 shot that he's going to make that shot from the corner, from, as LeBron called it, the short corner. And he did rip it. So that was very different than what happened in Game 3 in the Kings' house, same house, of the finals last year, when you have a chance to make it a series, when you're up 4 points with a minute and a half left and you got the ball in your hands. And my first issue was the first play that happened then with the minute 29 left, he had Iguodala on him and he got a step on him into the lane. And you just take it home. Just go to the free throw line and make the free throws. If you go make 2 free throws there with a minute and a half left, you're up 6 points.
We've had this conversation.
Okay, and he stops and fades and shoots a fall away. High degree of difficulty.
There's no high degree of difficulty when you deal with him.
Scary.
Come on. You know who this is. If he was a gymnast, he'd be Comaneci.
All right.
But he's not.
Okay.
But here's the thing, though.
So,
We've talked. Okay, let me, before you go make your point. We've had this discussion, you and I. LeBron does not get the calls when he drives the lane.
Maybe not.
Say a James Harden gets.
What you would like to think in a pivotal Game 3 of the NBA Finals in your house?
No.
You're going to get a call. Come on. On Iguodala? Come on. But then comes the fateful play with 52 seconds left. He takes it into the lane on Draymond, and KD's lurking in there.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, just drive it. Can you dunk on Draymond?
Here come everybody. Here come KD.
Do what you did to Nurkic. Because Kyle Korver had played a total of 35 games with the Cleveland Cavaliers. Kyle Korver had never played in an NBA Finals in his career. And all of a sudden, you're asking Kyle Korver to make a shot that the Kings should have made in his house? Yeah. That's, again, at that point, you're up 2 with 52 seconds left. Just close it. Close the deal.
He was trying
you don't
to
want
close
Kyle Korver to shoot that shot.
Yes,
He's not fourth Korver in the NBA Finals.
Yes.
He is not.
That's what I want him to do. I want him to shoot that shot.
Yeah, you really do.
But
what happened? He missed that shot.
it. But did you see what LeBron did? The Jakob Portal? Did you see what he do to him, Skip?
It's Jakob Portal. He's a rookie.
Hey, he's like, shall I have this dance? He didn't want to dance with him at first, Joy. He backed up that.
Is that all you got?
He grabbed his hand, and then he went to the basket and flushed it on him. And what did he do, Skip? He looked at the bitch and said, get his ask me no question up out of here. Get him up out of here, Skip. You saw it.
So I predicted yesterday that LeBron would have a 38-point triple-double, and he let me down. Your man let me down.
Yeah.
It was only 35 points, and then he's slacking on the boards because he only had 7 rebounds.
Here's the thing,
Come
Skip.
on, LeBron.
They won't give you a rebound if you're getting the ball out the net.
Oh.
Because wasn't nobody missing. They won't give you no rebound for that, Skip.
Okay.
35, 17, and 7. Can I interest you in that stat line?
Please get Toronto out of my sight.
No, don't do that, Skip.
Well, baby
It's over.
dinosaurs.
Cakewalk.
They
The
tried
cakewalk
hard.
has begun.
What do the
Way
baby
to go.
dinosaurs
I like
sound
cake.
like?
Way to
Shannon?
go.
Don't you like cake, Joy?
Cake?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me too.
It's the walk of cakes.
Red
right now.
velvet, German chocolate.
Yeah, well, that's what's coming up in the postseason.
Love me a
LeBron.
good old German
He's
chocolate.
going to have a whole mouthful of German
Yeah.
chocolate cake.
No mercy. Hey guys, Joy Taylor here. Before the show continues, I wanted to talk to you about MyBookie. If you already busted your bracket, there's still a way for you to cash in on March Madness at MyBookie. If you haven't signed up yet, it's not too late. It doesn't matter if you've been a player for years or you like a team because their colors match your favorite shoes. Just lay down some money and score big on college hoops. Join me and thousands of online players and start betting at mybookie.ag. Are you sick and tired of getting the runaround when you ask for a payout? Come join MyBookie today. I would only recommend a service that has been good to me and my listeners. That's why I'm telling you to make your way to MyBookie. You win, they pay. Fast and without any hassles. You're wasting your time betting anywhere else. They even have in-game live betting so you can place a bet after tip-off. Join now and MyBookie will match your first deposit with a 50% bonus. Use promo code UNDISPUTED to activate the offer. Visit mybookie.ag today. MyBookie. Play, win, and get paid. Now back to the show. No mercy. The Cavs beat the Raptors last night thanks to 35 points and 17 assists from LeBron. And we're joined by FS1 NBA analyst Chris Broussard. Welcome, Chris.
Thank you.
Happy days. You're here again, right?
It's always nice to come on.
Yeah,
in the
you
morning
heard
after
me,
both
a
you guys
game
got
like
big
that.
Love is in the air. Love is in the air.
All you need is love.
Chris, what did last night tell you?
Number one, and I stand by my statement that this is not the best LeBron James we've ever seen because he was such a great defender years ago, and he's not that anymore. But I do have to say, offensively, I think this is the best I've ever seen him because he's still got great athleticism, maybe not quite what it was, but still great. and he's smarter than
I
ever.
agree.
He looks in more control. He's always been in control, but even more so, almost like a man with boys. I think he's driving to the basket more or as much as ever, at least,
I
if
agree.
not more. His three-point shot, I know it's like the third best percentage of his career, but he looks like he's shooting threes better than ever. His passing, I think, because of his smarts, is great. So offensively, this is the best I've seen. I also like last night that, and you probably picked this up, at the end of the game, in the last 16 seconds, he held the ball twice
It was
for
impressive.
them to foul him.
I
So
agree.
he wanted to go to the line. Once he passed, he ended up passing to Love.
I don't know if you saw this, Chris and Skip, but did you see what Van Fleet did? He came and tried to dap him up.
Yeah,
and he
I saw
walked
that.
past, and LeBron said, "Oh, come on back, give me some more."
He did.
Bap, he dapped him up.
Which I don't like. If I'm Toronto, I don't like that. I know Van Fleet grew up probably idolizing LeBron, but come on, you cannot, right? LeBron was like, come back.
He could call it back. Like, yeah, I give you some dap.
But here's something else, though. I got it. This was impressed upon me last night. Because we say, if this is the best offensive LeBron we've ever seen, why isn't he winning more games or winning like he used to with less talent even? I believe that the predominance now of the three-point shot has lessened the degree to which LeBron can dominate games. Because it nullifies to some degree his dominance. From the arc in, he's, I think, by far the best player in the league.
Yes.
But that three-point line, San Antonio in 2014, they averaged 11 threes a game. That's how they beat him. We know Golden State has had its way with him because of the three. Houston will be tough because of the three. And the Cavs, they give up the second most threes in the league per game. And that's so they have got, if they're going to have a chance to win it.
Well, they make the fourth most, so.
They make a lot, but they live and die on the three. If they, like last night was a perfect example. LeBron was great, 15 and 8 in the first half. They scored 64 points, but Toronto hit 12 threes, so it nullified it. And then in the second half, it changed. Cleveland cannot outshoot Golden State and Houston.
No.
And so their defense somehow is going to have to improve against the three, and it's hard. Because Tom Thibodeau is one of the best defensive coaches I've ever seen. The Timberwolves are ranked 27th in the league defensively. Because that line has changed. And the fact that so many guys hit 39, 40% now from three, it changes everything.
And the thing with Minnesota, Chris, and not to get off track, is that they play those two bigs, and these bigs can shoot. So you're asking Anthony Towns to guard the three. You're asking Taj Gibson to guard the three, Georgie Jang to guard the three, and that's impossible. But what you saw last night was virtuoso. There's Mozart, Beethoven, Tchaikovsky, Michelangelo. Oh yeah, This is what you saw. What you saw last night is the Sistine Chapel, Skip.
Yeah. It wasn't Jordan-esque, but it was.
Don't do that, Skip Bayless. Jordan wish he could have averaged 17, had 17 assists in a game.
Yeah.
This man did 15 or more 5 times this year. Stop playing with the man, Skip. Now y'all gonna put some respect on. Sooner or later, you're gonna acknowledge his greatness. I know
don't tell me
you try to do it on the slide.
I have him ranked higher all time than you. So,
you do.
So let's not go
But
there.
see, I'm still letting them pour that cement. I don't sit that construction crew up to South Dakota, Skip. You know what they're doing up there, too. Yeah. Here's the thing. Last night, he created 29 points in the first quarter. They scored 42. He created 27 in the fourth quarter. They scored 34. 14 and 5. That's what he did, Skip Bayless. And when he's playing like that, he was in that toolbox, monkey wrench, pipe wrench, vice grip, got a lot of electric tape up in that thing because he had to piece it together. And when they got down, and like you said, Chris, when they get down and they can make threes, when you can make threes, you're never out of a ball game. And that's the thing that hurts them because Cleveland gets a big lead, and because they're the second worst defensive at the three-point shot, that's why teams gradually get back into the ball game. I wasn't worried about them coming back. I knew they would come back and get close to them. Would they have enough energy? Because you have to expend so much energy to get yourself back into the game. Do you have enough to get over the hump? And that's why LeBron didn't chase Van Fleet off that three. He wanted to save just that little bit of energy. That was just enough to get round, kick that thing to Love. There's love in the air. You heard LeBron?
Could we see that play just one more time?
Yeah.
Please? This is the end of the half. They've already scored.
You don't need to see it anymore.
I just want to see it one more time.
What you want to see it for?
LeBron is attempting to guard Van Vliet for a second. There he is, and Van Vliet goes back to the corner, and LeBron just says, I think I'll just stay in the lane.
Well,
What are you doing, King? What are you doing?
He wouldn't have got there anyway.
No.
Look how
But at
far
least
away
you
it
can make
was.
a half-hearted run
No,
at it.
don't make no half-hearted.
Oh.
And also,
That's your man. That's your guy. And all of a sudden...
That's the one thing you're picking out
But
of
wait a
last
second.
night.
That made it 79 to 64. You gave up almost 80 points in the first half at home?
79.
At home?
79.
That's on pace to
76.
give
They
up
hit
160
12 threes.
points.
That's what I'm saying. The three-pointer changes everything.
Now, to your point about playing at the highest level of his career, what LeBron, speaking of the three-point shot, has turned into is the greatest three-point assister I have ever seen. And it's not even close. He's leading this league by far in assists off three-point shots because he's got an array of snipers and nobody passes it better to the three-point shooters
Is
than LeBron does.
Harden's not close on that?
It's not even close. LeBron has 304 assists just off three-point shots. That's 41 more than Westbrook has at 263. So he's just dominating. And I got to see this pass again because it's my favorite pass of the night from LeBron, where he goes all the way cross-court to J.R. Smith. Could we just see that one more time, please? Just flicks it. Just flicks it and hits J.R. right in the pocket. Do you know how far that is?
Yeah.
Do you know how much strength you need to generate enough velocity on the ball to get it through 5 defenders and hit J.R. right in the pocket where J.R. just knew it? Like he could just see it coming. I'm just going to step into this, and it's going to be gone in a split second. That's a pass, man. Nobody else can throw that pass.
he made a couple of plays last night. He had Key and Kevin Love had a high pick and roll at the top. And, he settled and Kevin Love resets. And then LeBron James drives. He drives, and Kevin Love resets in the corner for a three. I'm like, how did you know?
Great pass.
How did you know he was going to be there? Yep. And so all the thing that was going through my head when he made that pass, I was thinking, you remember Captain and Tennille?
Do I?
Do it to me one more time.
I thought you were going to sing Love Can Keep Us Together.
Yeah,
Love
Because that's your song with LeBron.
Yeah.
Love Can Keep Us Together.
Skip, he's special. Skip, he's all, I mean, like I said, and like you're a voter, Chris, there'll be 2 unanimous first-team All-NBA players. One plays for the Rocket, and the other plays for the Land. There's no question about it. No question. He and James Harden will be first-team unanimous.
There would have been 3, but he sold my team out. That's okay.
About,
There would have been 3.
Manu said,
There would have been 3.
Manu said,
He's banged up,
man.
He's
banged up.
It's mental toughness.
Yeah. So you saying he's not tough?
I'm saying he's
He's
not
a
mentally
physically tough guy.
Oh,
yeah, he's tough.
Yeah.
And his doctor has not cleared him.
And Ginobili called him out last night
Do
and
you
just said,
think-
we're done with you.
I don't think you're out. You know Manu. That is not Manu.
We're talking
Manu
about
was
Kawhi
just stating a fact.
What about them
You
baby?
just stating a
What I
strong
tell you about them
fact
baby
that, hey,
dinosaurs?
you can't-
What I tell you about them baby dinosaurs?
Look, hold on. They're a good team.
They are.
They are a
We beat good
legitimately
teams.
good
That's what we do.
team.
We beat good
No,
teams.
but they're
Boston's
legit.
a good team, and what we do to them?
Chris,
You don't think Toronto's
they're
good?
still the Raptors. When push comes to shove and they see that beast of the East
Well,
across the way, they just say,
That's a different animal.
He's got
they
them. Yeah.
genuflect. They drop to their knees and say, you are the king.
Yeah.
And you own us.
Yeah.
They lost
They
the second
needed
half.
that win, right?
They needed
had
it
to
badly.
win that game mentally.
Well, you're up, 15 and a half, and you lose the second half 68 to 50? So you gave up 68 in the second half.
And
all of
they're a
sudden-
great defensive. They're
Well,
one of the top
hold on,
defensive
Skip.
teams
They
in the
gave
league.
up 64 in the first half, so why is 68 a big?
True. But here's the thing. This is what the Raptors are. Like, well coached,
Yes.
tons of depth.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, Siakam, Podol, they are a really good, well-rounded, well-balanced team. But you know what they don't have? With all due respect to DeRozan and Lowry, they don't have a superstar.
That is correct.
Yeah.
They're a really good team, but they don't have. You need a superstar. At
Bona
least
fide. No
one.
question. Not a
told you
very
That's
good.
what they don't have.
Their mentally toughest new player is Van Vliet coming off the bench. So in the first half, we saw the fourth one he made. He made 4 threes in the first half, and they lean on him to carry them in the second half, and he goes 0 for 4 from 3 because maybe that stage was a little too big for him at this
Young
point in his
kid.
development. I don't know. And then DeRozan goes 0 for 2, and Ibaka goes 0 for 4 from 3, and they go 3 for 16 from 3. You know what's going to happen? You're going to lose.
What is with LeBron and dunking on these foreign big men? Now Nurkic got Portal. I mean, what is this, Skip?
What are you saying? Are you accusing him of having some
Yeah, he
xenophobia?
biased. Yeah, but if you notice,
Yeah.
Ever since
Siakam got him last night, though. Kind of a dunk by. What did you say? Like a dunk by? You saw that, right?
Go back and look at LeBron numbers since I posted that picture on Insta.
Oh, my God.
Oh, it's now Insta is what you call it?
Just look at that. Look at them numbers. It started in Portland. Because we took that picture and they was on their way to Portland. And look at what he did in Portland. Look at what he did in Chicago.
So are you saying before
Milwaukee.
every game, LeBron pulls out his phone and looks at it?
I put it like this. He and I been talking on direct message.
Yeah.
He and I we chatted early that morning.
Did you slip him a little vibranium?
Hey, you know, hey.
Oh, did you?
Hey. Well, Kawhi need to get some of that vibranium.
He does.
But I tell you what we'll do, Skip. I'll make you an offer you can't refuse.
Yeah.
I will trade you JR and Zizic straight up for Kawhi. He damaged. He don't want to be with y'all anymore.
Why?
Yeah.
Why would I take that?
Because he's not playing for you guys.
I'll do this. I'll take LeBron for Kawhi right now.
No.
Even in his he'll be in his 16th year.
No,
16th year. I'll take him.
But you told me earlier, why would the Lakers want LeBron in year 16?
Well, they're building. I'm built. I'm ready. I got enough.
Oh, no.
I'm not so sure your man Kawhi is going to be out of there. I wouldn't doubt that they could patch it up. Because, look, they know they can't lose talent. And his value's not going to be as high. Yeah, you're not getting free agents there.
40.
For the most part.
And Kawhi knows only one team can offer him 5 years at $219.
Yep.
I
think they'll patch it up.
Whatever Ginobili's made of, Kawhi is not made of. Trust me on that. Because when the Spurs medical staff clears you 2 months ago and you're still out, then it's in your head. It's in your head.
No, he got.
Well, you know this because you talked to the Spurs. Kawhi from day one has been a guy that's always not wanted to really play till he's 110%. Like he's always been overly cautious about going out. And I'm not saying that's a great thing, but he's always been overly cautious about playing through just little knick-knack injury. Yeah. Never played 82.
Well, this could be the ultimate Willis Reed comeback if he could just suddenly show up.
And do what?
They've only won 5 in a row, by the way.
Which I think is because they've said, look, it's just us.
He's not coming back. Y'all not getting out the West with or without Kawhi. So enjoy that third place finish, which y'all going to be relegated to.
Well, enjoy losing LeBron's 6 finals. That's what's coming.
4 and 5, baby.
They're going to waltz into the finals. The cakewalk has begun in the Eastern Conference. So LeBron is about to play in his 8th finals and is about to fall to 3 and 6 in the finals. You can see it coming.
That's why I got these glasses. I saw it.
I would pick that. I would pick that finish. If I had to, I'd pick. But look, this is the thing. I will say this about LeBron James. He needs to be looking at this like, we can steal one this year. If you're looking at Golden State and you're LeBron, right? You got to be saying they're banged up. You never know if Steph's going to get injured again, whoever. Houston, they're great, but they should not scare you. They haven't, 2 guys who've struggled in the playoffs at times. LeBron has to be saying, I'm the best player in the world. Get me there. Because look how many finals injuries have played a role.
It cost him.
He knows a little something about that.
Well, I don't know if it cost, but Golden State's first finals. He should not be thinking at all, we just going to win the East and then we can't win it all.
Shannon, you might be on to something. LeBron is averaging 34, 11, and 11 since you took the picture. Before that, it was 27, 8, and 9.
You now hold on, Chris.
Maybe he's a preacher after all, Skip.
Yeah. LeBron 34, 11, 11. Can I interest you in that? Can I, Skip?
Why don't you just move up there?
No.
Just move up there.
No.
You can do the show remotely.
His house is humongous.
I know it is.
There's a lot of snow up there right now.
Yes, I can't do that.
No mercy. Hey guys, Joy Taylor here. Before the show moves along, I wanted to tell you that support for the Undisputed podcast comes from our friends at Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans. They understand that home plays a big role in your life and family. That's why they created Rocket Mortgage. Rocket Mortgage gives you the confidence you need when it comes to buying a home or refinancing your existing home loan. It's simple, allowing you to fully understand all the details and be confident you're getting the right mortgage for you. Whether you're looking to buy your first home or your 10th, with Rocket Mortgage, you get a transparent online process that gives you the confidence to make an informed decision. It's convenient. Our trusted partners allow you to share your financial information with Rocket Mortgage at the touch of a button. And in addition to getting a real mortgage approval in minutes, you can even adjust the rate and length of your loan in real time to make sure you're getting the right solution for you. Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans. Apply simply, understand fully, mortgage confidently. To get started, go to rocketmortgage.com/undisputed. Equal housing lender, licensed in all 50 states. NMLSConsumerAccess.org, number 3030.
No mercy.
The New York Giants have traded Jason Pierre-Paul to the Bucks. There are also draft picks involved. JPP had 8.5 sacks last season. We're joined by Hall of Famer Rod Woodson. Rod, welcome back.
Well, thanks for having me back. It's good to be here.
First, Shannon, what's your reaction?
I'm surprised. Yeah, he's 29, $12.5 million cap hit. That's not a lot of money for someone that was as productive as he was. Now, maybe the possibility that the Giants are going to be more of a 3-4 team as opposed to a 4-3 made it a lot easier to move on from JPP. Who knows? Maybe this is trying to clear some cap space for Odell, because you're going to have to do something with him. I'm sure he wants a new contract. So that's really the only thing I can think about, because I thought he played really well. Given what he's gone through over the last 2 years, learning how to play with 4 fingers, I think he's done an unbelievable job, Skip. I really do. And I'm surprised by this move.
Fire away.
You know, I'm surprised too, because I think I agree with you. I think they're moving on because they think he cannot play a 5 technique in a 3-4
Right.
outside of a defensive end. He's in a 6-7 technique outside.
Right.
What really benefits him.
Right.
I mean, he's going to play with McCoy
Right.
with the Bucks. They were dead last in sacks last year, so it's going to help this guy individually,
Right.
and it's going to help that football team down south. But I think as the Giants themselves, you think about since 2008 to 2013, there's no more players on their roster. Excuse me. And so I'm thinking they're clearing cap space for Odell.
Yeah.
Odell, we know Odell loves to be that rock star. He's a great player. He's known internationally, and he wants that money.
Yeah.
And I think the way you move that cap space is take some of those older players. The 30, it used to be 30 years old when they got rid of players.
Yeah.
29 is the new 30.
Yeah.
So they're starting to move players at 29 nowadays.
As usual, I got to speak as a Cowboy fan.
You glad?
I was glad. Because every game against the Giants, he scares me, JPP, because he can wreak havoc.
Yeah.
When he gets flying around the end, all of a sudden, he disrupts. He is difficult to game plan and difficult to sort of nullify. And he will really help that Tampa defense.
Yeah.
And he's going to, somewhere Cam and Breeze and Matt Ryan are saying, oh, God, we got to deal with another guy. And the Giants will take a step back at that position, but the reports are, and I'm sure the way they're going is, they like Bradley Chubb out of North Carolina State, who's the new apple of everybody's combine eye because he tests great. Myles Garrett last year, I didn't love him because I watched a bunch of A&M games and I just couldn't see him jump off my screen.
Right.
He did some good things for Cleveland, but not great things. And I watched 3 North Carolina State games. I'm just watching television, but I like to see, if a guy's going to be that guy, the second pick in the draft, even when you're watching television, you should be sitting back saying, wow, God, look at that guy. I didn't. I watched them against Louisville, North Carolina State, and then they went to Notre Dame, and then they played at Clemson. He just didn't leap where you're saying, oh, I see that guy.
He's special.
Yeah, he's special. I don't know. But then he goes to the combine and he runs 4.6 at 269 pounds, which is tremendous.
bookie.
You know?
That's moving.
No, I mean, that's great. But does that mean you're a dominant defensive end? I don't know. But I'm pretty sure they're going to go that direction, which means the Jets are going to take, we're thinking Darnold's obviously going to Cleveland.
Yes.
And the Jets are going to take a quarterback. I think it's going to be Baker Mayfield. Do you think it could be whatever, Josh Allen, Josh Rose? It could be any of those 3. And all of a sudden, Cleveland is going to get Saquon. And so Cleveland's going to come away with Darnold and Saquon. That's a draft to me.
It's some good picks.
Right?
It is some good picks.
But didn't they sign Carlos Hyde? I mean, didn't they? I mean, but
Carlos Hyde is not he is an every down back, but he's not going to be that back that's going to take your franchise to the next level.
right. Okay.
You know, so when you look at Pierre-Paul, when new coaching staffs come in, they have no ties to any of the players that are on that roster.
Right.
It's a new GM too.
He's a
There's
new
no
GM.
ties to any draft picks. So you're going to move on to what you believe is not going to help you and try to bring in some new blood. Right. And you got to think, you're going to a 3-4. You got Eli Manning. Is Eli Manning going to be there? Do they take a quarterback? Do they take a defensive end? Do they take a running back? I mean, where do you go? I mean, who's their backup quarterback for the New York Giants? Who's their future? If Odell's there and he's the highest paid receiver, who's throwing the ball to him? Eli? Forever?
I mean, I don't know what they saw. For them to make that move where they bench him and the ownership says, well, you need to get these other guys ready to play, and they make that move because it's
To Geno, not to Webb.
Yeah.
We know what Geno can do.
Yeah.
It was the Webb. And now, I'm glad they did it because they played us that week. They played us that week. We said we're going to play against Geno, not Eli. Okay, well, thank you. We appreciate it.
Yeah, exactly.
But that was a head scratcher even for us in the building in Oakland.
Right. And that's the thing. But for Eli to play, and Eli could have made this a lot easier on the Giants had he just played better. But it's hard for me to believe that a quarterback I mean, we saw now Kurt had some down years at the Rams, and that's why they let him go. He was the bridge guy between Eli, and then he went to the Cardinals, and then poof. So Eli might have this resurgence, but man, not from what I've seen the last couple of years, Skip.
JPP could be a little difficult to handle, a little difficult to coach, a little tough in the locker room. So maybe Gettleman, the new GM, is trying to clear the decks, change the culture, as they say. They're going to stick with Eli, but they're just going to try to change. And again, I'm with you. $12 million.
That's not
to
a
me,
lot.
That's a pretty good buy for JPP.
Yeah, that's not a lot of money for a guy that gave you 8.5 sacks.
And I believe he could play a 5 technique
I do.
in a 3-4. But they believe that he's not suited for it. And for JPP himself, it's better suited for him to go to the Bucs because he has better players around him for him to get to the quarterback.
Yeah, and the thing is, that 5 technique you need to lock out. Well, if you ain't got no thumb, it's kind of hard for you to lock out with just 4. I mean, they factor all that in because that's what a 5 technique is mainly. In that defense, you got to lock that tackle down, and because you play in 2 gaps, you got to shed one way, shed the other. But he got 8.5 sacks with those 4 fingers, so I believe he could adapt and learn how to lock out. But hey, 4-3. Get to the quarterback. This is really much. He's suited better for a 4-3 as opposed to a 3-4. But I believe he could play a DN in the 3-4 defense.
So the NFC East has come down to a 2-team race next year. It's just Cowboys and Eagles with the Cowboys
Whoa.
They have a little edge.
No, they don't.
They have an edge over the Eagles?
Sure.
I know you're a Cowboy fan, but
I know,
man, getting Michael Bennett, that's unfair.
They got a Lodi Nada on top of all. But guess who else they have? They got Nick Foles. They got a quarterback quandary.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do.
No. Walk it to him.
No.
Walk it to him.
What are you going to do with Foles?
We're going to do what he was doing. What did he start last year? On the bench.
On the back. He's a backup.
Yeah. Wait until Carson Wentz throws his first interception.
I don't care if he
and
throws
listen
10.
to him boo.
Well,
listen to him. We want Foles. We want Foles. And we in Dallas
You can
want
have
Foles, too.
And if he's not careful, he'll be right up there with him in the stands chanting, we want Foles. We want Foles.
No mercy. Dez Bryant had a disappointing 2017 season, but it looks like he's trying to change that. NFL Network's Jane Slater reports Dez plans on working with a personal wide receiver coach, David Robinson, next month. Robinson told Slater that he wants to work on Dez's route tree, shaking off defenders at the line of scrimmage, and improving his footwork. Robinson has worked with other receivers such as Antonio Brown and Emmanuel Sanders. We're joined once again by Rod Woodson. You were a coach with the Raiders and saw Dez firsthand last season. How much has his game dropped off?
Well, I could say that Dez was still their number one. I mean, Beasley's there. Jason Witten has slowed down a little bit. Beasley's a good slot receiver. Bryce Butler was a go-to number 2 outside or number 3 guy. Bryce Butler was faster than Dez. You can see it on tape.
doubt.
Right.
You definitely can see it on tape. But we still rolled our coverage to Dez. We had Clay 88, and if it was 2x2, we rolled over and played cover 2 to Dez. On the backside, we played basically cover 6. And then if it was a 3x1, we rolled everything over to him and make Dak find the number 2, the other guy open. And he couldn't find the guy.
How much
Elliott
did you
was
worry
hurt.
about Beasley inside? Did you bracket
We
him
weren't.
at all? Or?
No, we didn't bracket Beasley at all. So I mean, he was still their number 1. Now the thing is, he's 29 years old. He's going to be 30 in November. Every time you get a player, you're going to get slower. That's just natural.
Right.
You're not going to be as fast as you were when you're a rookie. His route tree has always been back shoulder, hitch, slant, and fades. That's been his route tree forever. Is he going to be, because you talked about Robinson worked with Antonio Brown and Emmanuel Sanders. Those guys are twitchy.
Yeah.
There's a difference.
Start, stop.
He's not going to become that. It's not in his DNA.
And he's too big.
And he's a big guy. So I think it's good that he's doing something different, but I still think for them, they need to upgrade their number 2 and number 3 if they want to still have Dez the number 1 choice.
But you scrimmage against these guys in training camp. And for me, I learned a lot more when I scrimmaged, like we have scrimmages against the Carolina Panthers. It was a lot easier because when we played them in '97, I had saw these guys on tape, and I'm going against them when I'm doing one-on-one drills when I'm at my tight end position or I'm lining up out wide. So you get a better sense of how they really, because sometimes you see, okay, they're playing this coverage, but one-on-one. So now I can see how you station, how you prep yourself. See, Dez is a big guy, Skip, and the thing is, as a receiver, you always want to play skinny. So you never give the man your entire body to hit. Dez tries to play straight up. No, you can't do that. Get on his edge, on it, either his outside or his inside. And then when you try to release, you need to be as skinny as possible. And I know it's like, man, Dez is 220, but I'm saying you got to give him this. You got to give him this. You can't give him this because he's going to put both hands in your chest, and now he neutralizes you. And like you said, he's not going to be start-stop. He doesn't have that kind of burst quickness. He's not Odell Beckham that can change speeds like that in the middle of a route, Antonio Brown. But he's a big receiver like Julio. Now, he doesn't have Julio's speed. And I believe he could, just if he improves, just say 10% skill, that would be enough. But you cannot get by with 2-3 routes. You can't. You got to be able to run the out. You got to be able to run the comeback. And look at Rod. Rod was a Defensive Player of the Year in '93 as a corner. He moved to safety, and he was 4-time, goes to the Pro Bowl, and he was first-team All-Pro. So are you willing to adapt? Are you willing to swallow your pride? Because Rod can say, look here, man. The dude was also on the 75th anniversary All-Century team. The 75th anniversary, one of the corners was Rod Woodson. He moved the corner. You mean to tell me?
Safety.
It's a safety.
Yeah.
So are you telling me, Dez, you
can't move
Skip,
to the
think
slot.
about, I'm going to let you go, Skip, but think about this. Dez last year was 24th in catches, 28th in yard, tied for 26th in touchdowns. This year, he's scheduled to have the third highest cap for wide receivers. Now, you tell me how that adds up. 20s, third. Something's not computing, Skip.
This just tears me apart. To your point, this man was as great a safety as I ever saw, who was originally one of the best corners in the league. But by the end of the line, when you're playing for the Raiders, you are playing more with this than this, right?
Absolutely.
You just are. You're doing it with your brain and your anticipation and your know-how and your savvy and your craftiness because you've figured out all the angles and what to anticipate. You know it before they throw it. Okay, that's how you played safety. Well, this man, who's going on 30 years of age, hasn't reached that point where he's not playing with his mind yet because no one ever made him play with his mind because he was so gifted at 6'2", 225, that all the little things were never part of his game. So now we hear David Robinson, the receiver guru, talk about, I need to teach him how to beat press coverage. You need to teach. He's in his ninth season.
It's just too late.
Well,
It's
okay,
too late.
it's too good. Come on now. And he says we need to teach him to be a little more explosive out of his breaks. I just don't know. The body is breaking down. I don't know if that's there. I don't know if that. It used to be in his DNA because he was a pretty good punt returner when he first got in this league, as you were once upon a time. But that's over. And now he's beat up. He's had like 16 different injuries. I saw an interview on ESPN this morning with Tiger Woods, and he's saying, it's like riding a bike, except I have a new bike. And I have to figure out how my new bike works because it's not like my old bike because I can't do anything like I used to do, but I can still figure it out. Well, with this, you can figure it out. There's new ways to skin the cat. Well, this guy, Dez, hasn't figured out anyway because he's one of those spoiled kids who just came up as the best. He was always the best in Lufkin, Texas, and always the best at Oklahoma State. And for about 5 years, he was the best at Dallas. And that 2014 year, we're making the case.
Him and Julio.
He might have been the best in the league. And then all of a sudden, he lost it. And he led the league in drops last year because he's trying so hard, he can't figure it out, and he's not concentrating on actually catching the football. And now David Robinson, the guru, is saying, we need the Cowboys to add wrinkles. We need more routes to the tree. No, you don't. He has to figure out how to run them first. Okay, because to your point, you've been on this from the start. To me, he runs a slant or a jump ball is basically what
Absolutely. That's what he does.
Back to the
I mean, if I'm saying anything to Dez, and it's great that he's working with the coach, that is good. But when we watch film, and I'm looking at them running this all goes, 9.99, right? Dez was back here. Bryce Butler was up here on the field. I would tell Dez to get on the track. Get back to your long speed. You can get that back a little bit. And if you get that helps you give your explosion back. And if you get your explosion back, that's when you become dangerous again. That's when you become maybe back to that old Dez a little bit.
But if you look at Dez catches balls if they press bail him or plays off of him. If I'm a DB, I would not play anything but bump coverage on Dez. I'm not press bailing.
Get up in him.
Why would you press bail him? Because you know if you press bail him, he's running in breaking.
Yeah.
So now you're already at a disadvantage because you've already opened the gate. And my grandmother said, boy, you open the door, flies come in your house. That's what happened. So if you open that door, you're going to give him an opportunity. I'm sitting down in front of, who is he going to run away from?
He's not running away from anybody.
Nobody. So I'm sitting right there in front of him and said, okay, I dare you to throw it.
Rod, I'm pleasantly shocked you were rolling all your coverage to 88 because at the end of the year.
They didn't have Elliott. You got to remember, we played and they didn't have Elliott. So the number one choice for Dak was still Dez.
Right.
So you take away Dez, their slot receiver, Beasley, he can cause you a little headache. But their number two, he never threw over to the number
Williams.
2, number 3,
Right.
Yeah.
Williams or Bryce Butler.
And plus, you have to understand now, they didn't have true number one corners. They don't have Talib. They don't have Harris. They don't have Jack Rabbit. They don't have Norman.
No.
So now, if you teams that have really good
You're
corners,
talking about Oakland.
Yeah, Oakland.
Oakland, yeah. They didn't have that.
Yeah, and so if you have a team that have 2 quality corners, they're like, oh, we ain't worried about that. Let's stop this running game. If you look at when they played the Broncos, you look at teams that have 2 good corners. Even teams that have okay corners, they're like, we ain't rolling no. We're not sending our guy traveling with you for what? It's on you, Dez. It's on you. A lot of getting in and out of breaks has a lot to do with, can you threaten the guy? If you don't, if you can't threaten me deep, I'm sitting in there. Go where? I'm not bailing on you because I know you can't run by me. So I'm playing everything 10 and under.
Well, I'm happy as you are that he might try this guy, but it feels too little too late to me because I don't know if he's going to really take it to heart. I don't know if he's going to work for hours on this because no one's ever made him. But all of a sudden, he's starting to feel the pressure. I don't know if Jerry's asked him to take a pay cut yet, but I'm standing by what I said.
If you only play with your talent, everybody's talented in the National Football League. That's why they're there.
Exactly.
Everybody gets drafted because they're talented in some capacity. But this game is played 2-to-1, mental to physical. And if you don't ever bring your mind to your talent, your physical talent, you'll never be a great player. Because those guys who do that, they separate themselves from being average to good to great.
I mean, Jerry Rice, I know him. I watched him close.
Yes.
Did he have the most talent? Was he a burner? No. But did he?
He worked hard and he knew the game.
Yeah.
And that's what I would like to know. How does Dez watch tape? Because I understand
Does he watch tape?
I understand that they're playing cover 3, but how's the corner playing? Inside? Is he press bail? Is he going to do, a lot of times guys are stab, or he'll one hand or the other, or does he try to get 2? How is he watching tape? Because you just can't say, okay, this team is a cover 1 or a robber team or cover 4. You can't do that, Skip. You got, the guys
Just remember, Tony Romo spoiled him rotten because Tony would just say, just
throw
throw it down, I'll just throw it to you.
Yeah, no.
But he also has to understand how to, can he see the coverage itself? Like,
yes.
Is it cover 3? Is it cover 2? Where the rotation is going?
Yes.
Because the receivers are going to have different routes from different coverages. And if he can't understand that within inside the pattern, then he can definitely.
But your third step, you got to know. You got to know, Skip. And it helped me because I'm coming from a tight end and I'm going to the line and I'm looking as a wide receiver. It helped me as a tight end, so I'm looking at corner, looking at safety. Back then they played the underfront with the linebacker was on the line of scrimmage, so you're looking at that triangle. But what is I would just like to get in the room and says, okay, Dez, tell me what you're looking at here. Okay, if this guy plays you like this and your route is this, what's your release? Because I'm thinking all that. If he does this is what I'm thinking. If he does that, this is what I'm thinking. Does Dez think in those terms, Skip?
I don't know.
Well, Dez makes a lot of money, and he's very comfortable, and Jerry loves him. Sometimes you just...
I hope I'm wrong about
Just
this.
chill.
I think he's a lost cause, but that's just me.
But how about, who else moved to safety? Deion, Aeneas Williams. Dez, it's okay. Go on in the slot.
Aeneas is ranked higher than you on the HBCU
Can you believe
top
that?
25 athletes list.
Is he really?
Well, he should be.
That was my thought process too, Woody. Is he really? Yeah.
Aeneas?
I love Aeneas. Me and Aeneas made the Black College All-American my senior year. He was a junior then. I wish I could have gone against him. I cooked him.
No mercy. It rained here in LA yesterday. More importantly, Sam Darnold had his pro day, and he had to throw in that rain. He got rave reviews for his performance after not throwing at the combine. Darnold had a private workout with the Browns earlier this week. And one AFC executive told Albert Breer of Monday Morning Quarterback, quote, "He's going #1." Shannon, how impressed were you by Darnold?
I was very impressed. And Skip, I didn't see the entire workout, but given the circumstances, what's at stake, it's raining. That was as good a pro day I've seen from a quarterback in, say, since I've been watching them. This was very impressive. No, you hear guys say, man, I don't mind playing in the cold. I don't mind playing in the heat, even the snow. But how many quarterbacks, Skip, you ever heard say, man, I love throwing that ball in the rain? And that's what he had to do. He had a job interview with less than favorable circumstances. Because he didn't throw at the combine, he was up against the clock. Because if he had thrown at the combine, he could say, you know what, guys, come back another day when it's not raining, and I'll be able to throw it for you. But he said, look, it's raining. I got to get this on tape. Now, it was reported that he had worked out on Sunday or a couple of days earlier for the Cleveland Browns. But I love what he said after the fact. He said, I had a lot of other teammates that it was their pro day also, and I didn't want to let them down. So that tells me a lot, Skip. So I'm good with it. I love what I saw, and not a whole lot of quarterback. I hated playing in the rain. There are three things that like playing in the rain: kids, pigs, and ducks. Grown-ups don't like playing in the rain, especially quarterbacks. Now I played with one, John Elway. He hated the rain. Hell, I hated the rain. And it's not like it was in a phone booth where he was. He's throwing a wet ball. I'm trying to catch a wet ball. And coaches don't, hey, you got to make that play. Fans, they're sitting in the rain, and we expect you to make that play. So it's not easy. And for him to go out there and put on that kind of throwing performance, Skip, I was very, very impressed. And let me tell you something about O'Shea Sharpe, Joy Taylor. It takes a lot to impress me when it comes to football, because I've seen a whole lot and I've played with some great players. But I was impressed with the way this young man threw the football. There's no question in my mind. The Cleveland Browns are taking him first overall.
This is absurd to me. I wasn't impressed or unimpressed. I was just non-pressed. I'm going to invent a word, non-pressed. I don't care what he did in the rain or not the rain. And by the way, what I've always been taught by the many coaches I covered, going back to Don Shula, Tom Landry, and Jimmy Johnson and Bill Walsh, those guys taught me that the tougher element to throw in is wind. And Jimmy Johnson came back from Troy Aikman's pro day, which was staged at UCLA, not too far from USC.
Not too far from where we are.
On an extremely windy day coming off the Pacific Ocean. And the first thing Jimmy told me when he got back was, I love this kid because he could throw bullets into the wind. He was splitting the wind with his arm strength, because Troy had big mid-ranged arm strength. Not the greatest deep thrower, but boy, could he throw rockets into the wind, just split the wind. So to me, if you throw accurately in the wind, it's more impressive than throwing in the rain. And I get what you mean, talk about the wet ball. Troy actually had a hard time with the wet ball. Phil Simms had a hard time with the wet ball.
A lot of quarterbacks.
Some really like it. It's a weird phenomenon depending on your hand size.
Correct.
Or your grip strength. But in this case, I'm back to watch the tape. What happened to Sam Darnold last year? This is what I saw happen. Coming off that huge, sensational Rose Bowl game. Remember that? The 52-49 win over Penn State, the walk-off field goal game, in which he was 33 of 53 for 453 and 5 touchdowns to 1 interception. The world said, let there be Heisman, Sam Darnold. Did he not come in as the odds-on favorite? And I saw a kid who seems like a really good kid who tries too hard, and he crumbled under the expectations to live up to his Heisman hype. And he had a rough year, man, because he led college football in lost fumbles with 8 this year. That is not a good sign. And he threw 13 interceptions, and his sacks went up from 6 the year before when he didn't start every game. Remember, he started, I think, the second game of the year. But he had 6 sacks the previous year. He got sacked 29 times this year because he was holding the ball too long, trying to do too much, trying to live up to, I'm going to win the Heisman, and I'm going to carry my school to the national championship. And they lost 3 games, which is not awful, but he really really struggled all year long. And I was highly impressed with what he did in the 2 overtime game against Texas, because I watched the whole thing late into a Saturday night on, I think it was on FS1, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was. But the point was, he lit up a Texas team that finished 7-6. So they were pretty good, but they weren't great. And that was his signature game, because you're the first one to say he got outplayed by Josh Rosen, UCLA, USC.
He did. And Skip, just because he threw a wet ball well in rainy conditions doesn't mean he's going to be a great player. Because I think sometimes, Skip, you try to force plays. I saw a lot of plays. I didn't see all of his games, but he tried to force some throws. You try to, fit balls in situations where you shouldn't.
Yep.
But you're like, well, let me just try this. And it backfired. Now, you don't like to see guys have high turnovers coming into the NFL, because whatever bad habits that you have coming out of college, you normally bring those into the NFL until someone can correct you from those.
See Jameis Winston.
Yes. And even receivers fumble. Guys that have a problem fumbling in college, guess what? They bring it to the league. Adrian Peterson they started as great as he's been, Skip. Adrian Peterson would put the ball on the ground. And
no doubt.
And guys will start to say, you know what? Forget trying to tackle him. Let's tackle the football.
Yep, I got it.
But you have to be impressed, Skip, into that circumstances, because I can't recall.
I get it. He cared about his teammates who had all prepared for this day.
Yeah.
So he said, I don't want them to screw up their
Correct.
schedules,
Yes.
their prepreparation schedule. Let's just do it. Let's just go out there and play. And again, the Browns are there. Jimmy Haslam, the owner's there, sitting with his parents up in the stands.
Who you said was there? Jimmy Haslam?
Yeah.
He owned the Browns?
Yeah.
Oh, man, this man might have gone up there now.
Well,
we already know who's the second pick. Who on the clock of the second pick? The Giants. Who y'all want? Because when the owner Skip, how many times you heard when the owner shows up, you already know what time it is, Skip, baby. You know what's happening.
Saquon, has he been to? I don't think the owner came to. I don't think the Giants owner goes to any
Hold on.
workout.
Was Jimmy Haslam talking to his parents?
He was.
Oh, wait a minute.
Game over. Well, there's one player who I still like a lot named Baker Mayfield.
Man, you better stop.
Okay, but there's no way that Cleveland can take the next Johnny Manziel. There's no way.
No.
They just can't do it.
No.
Even if there's a hint of Johnny Manziel, they cannot risk Baker Mayfield.
You're right.
So
Yep.
I'm good with this. I'm okay. Go ahead and take Sam Darnold, but you better be ready, because as the first overall pick, he's going to have Heisman-like expectations.
Yeah, more than Heisman, because the Heisman is only for 1 year. You got expectations for the next 10 years of carrying this franchise. So those are a lot loftier than the Heisman, because they expect you to play well for 1 year, win that award, and dip. They expect you to play. The moment you get in there, Skip, people don't care nothing about this. Man, he a rookie. And?
Oh, he doesn't have enough help.
Because guess what they say? If you're as good as you say, you make those guys better, because everybody, that's what Tom Brady does. So everybody comes in, you got to be Tom Brady year 15 in year 1. Skip Bayless, that's you. You put this undue pressure on people.
I do not.
Yeah, you do.
I didn't put any on him, but I don't know. I don't know. And by the way, Sam Darnold did say one thing in his ESPN interview that threw me a little bit. He said, I don't want to play for a team that doesn't want me. Well, if they don't want you, they're not going to take you, Sam.
Yeah.
I don't think. His point was, if Cleveland doesn't want me, then I don't want to play for Cleveland. Well, then they'll take Josh Rosen.
Yeah, they'll take
Josh Allen. I don't know. Right?
Normally, teams draft the player they want. That's kind of
well, unless you're the Jets and you tried real hard to get up high, and then you'll take whatever's left.
I don't know.
Jets. Don't y'all listen to Skip Bayless?
No.
What is it, Broadway Baker?
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
Mayfield does Manhattan.
I hope they take him and he shows up in one of those big fur coats.
He would.
Game 1.
He would.
Broadway
He
Joe.
can play, though.
Broadway Joe didn't become Broadway until.
Just point of order now against Sam Darnold. Baker Mayfield had 41 touchdowns to 6 interceptions. He does not make mistakes. He's a gambler who doesn't make mistakes.
Yeah, he makes mistakes off the field.
He's made a couple.
Yeah. See, I ain't worried about him on the field, Skip.
He might make one on the sideline.
But what about when the package store got to open?
Huh?
Can he drive past it?
I don't know.
He can't outrun the cop.
No mercy. Thanks for listening to the Undisputed Podcast. I'm Joy Taylor. Join us again at the same time tomorrow morning, 9:30 Eastern. We'll see you then.
Fox Sports 1 of 1.